Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of The Sugary Sweet, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a whipped cream pound cake. And this recipe is from Jenny Field, and I'm going to do her recipe, and I just want to share this recipe because she's a wonderful woman. She inspired me to keep on with baking, and she's taken time out of her busy schedule to answer so many of my questions, and inspired me to go to culinary school, and here I am. So with our recipe here, I have butter that's cool. It's at room temperature, but it's not soft, but it's cool. And I have here sugar. This is granulated sugar. And then I have brown sugar. Okay. You'll find the actual recipe for this in the description box. It will actually take you to her website. So we're going to cream the sugars and the butters together. So I'm going to just do this on medium speed. We're going to let this go for about 10 minutes or so. Typically I usually do 8 minutes, but because we have so much butter and sugar, it may take longer. We're going to be scraping often in between the creaming process. So I'm going to let this go for about 3 minutes or so on medium speed, and we're going to stop it and scrape it. And we're just going to keep doing that until everything is combined. All the fats need to be coated with the sugar. In the meantime, while this is creaming together, we are going to mix together our dry ingredients, and I did weigh them beforehand. So this is our cake flour, and this is our baking powder and fine sea salt. Just going to whisk all those ingredients together, of course in a larger bowl, but so we're going to whisk those ingredients together, set that aside. We have our eggs here. They need to be beaten, so we're going to beat the eggs thoroughly. Okay, so the eggs are thoroughly beaten together. It's been about 3 minutes for our sugar and butter, and I'm going to just give this a scrape. I'm scraping to make sure everything is, being combined. Everything is being well incorporated with each other. Everything is coating each other. So I'm going to let this go again for another 3 minutes. I'm going to stop it and give it a scrape. It's going to be on medium speed. So it's been about 6 minutes now. I'm going to stop, give everything a scrape, and everything is almost there. I'm also going to scrape the paddle here. So I'm going to let this go for about another 3 to 4 minutes. This time we're going to take it to about medium high. Okay, so our next step is to add our eggs. But before we add the eggs, I'm just going to give it a scrape one more time. So I transfer my eggs to my Pyrex measuring glass, and we're going to slowly stream in our eggs. This is going to take quite some time. So just add a little bit at a time. I'm going to let it go for about 20 to 30 seconds after each addition. Now it's important that you slowly add the eggs to this because you don't want to destroy the structure of your cake. So after you drizzle a little bit in, just let it go for about 30 seconds or so. This process takes about 5 to 7 minutes. So just keep repeating this step until you have all the eggs added. Do not rush this step. Now after adding some of your egg mixture, you do want to give the machine a scrape. So always scrape, add a little bit, let it go. give it a scrape. So this mixing process is lengthy, but this is going to be a wonderful cake. So I'm going to stream in a little bit more egg and let it go about 25 to 30 seconds after I stream in that little bit of egg. And just keep doing that, scraping often. So we got almost all of the egg mixture added. As you see, the consistency of this is beautiful. So continue to slowly stream those eggs in and continue to scrape. So it's been roughly like 6 minutes for me, and I still have a lot of egg left, so just don't rush it. Okay, so we got all this cream together. It's at a beautiful kind of like ribbon-like stage. Everything's emulsified beautifully because we took our time to incorporate all that egg in between just little pourings of eggs that we did. So our next step now is to well, I'm going to add my vanilla into my half and half, and I'm using Mexican vanilla extract, and this just has more of a kind of a cinnamon aroma to it. It was grown in Mexico. Their process of growing is a little bit different in other regions. So we're going to alternatively add the dry and the wet. Dry, wet, dry. Always start with the dry, end with the dry. So I'm going to begin by adding half of this flour mixture that's in here. And I'm just going to mix this until it's moistened. Just until I see that flour dissolve. And I'm going to add half of that half and half of vanilla here, just until it dissolves. Then I'm going to add half of that remaining flour. Just until it dissolves. Okay, the flour is dissolved. I'm going to add the remaining of my buttermilk and vanilla here. Not buttermilk, I'm sorry. Half and half and vanilla. And add in the half and half. Just mix until it's dissolved. Okay, I'm going to stop the machine and I'm going to give it a scrape. Scraping towards the bottom, make sure everything is well combined. My, this smells amazing. That butter and vanilla, oh, beautiful smell. So now I'm going to add the remaining flour. We're going to mix it just until it's dissolved. I think that's it. I think this is good because we're going to finish incorporating everything else. This is our cake here, batter set it aside. I have here a clean bowl and I have here some heavy whipping cream. We are just going to whip this by hand until it begins to thicken a bit. So it's thickened a bit. Sort of leave track marks as you see here. I'm gonna whip it just a little bit more. So everywhere it's thickened a bit. So I'm gonna just scrape the top of my bowl here. Give everything one sort of a half scrape, and then I'm going to just slowly fold in this cream. Don't be aggressive because we worked really hard to get a lot of air in here, so just fold it. Yeah, we just fold it in 3 additions. If you enjoyed today's demonstration, please hit that thumbs up as well, and also subscribe to my channel. So we're going to add that final bit of cream. And just folded everything from the outside in. Now I'm going to pour this into my bump pan that I've already sprayed with baking spray. That's with flour, or you can butter and flour the pan really good. And my oven is preheated at 350 Fahrenheit. This is going to bake for 50 minutes to an hour and 5-ish. But we're going to begin to check it at exactly 50 minutes. We're going to give the bowl a really good scrape because we don't want to leave any of that goodness behind. One more final thing that I'm going to do is smooth the batter out. I have a little small icing spatula here. You can use a backup a spoon if you don't have an icing spatula, and just smooth everything out to make sure everything's even in the pan. So I'm just smoothing and just sort of twirling the pan. So this is going to bake for, like I said, 15 minutes to an hour and 5-ish. So I'm going to check it exactly 50 minutes, preheated 350 Fahrenheit oven. So here is the pound cake so far. It's been exactly 50 minutes, and I have my cake tester, or you can use a skewer. And I'm testing it, and it's coming out clean. So if your cake is not coming out clean when you test it, just simply put some foil on top of it. Just, have it over the top of it loosely. And put it back in the oven and just let it bake for like another 15-ish minutes, and just keep checking it. If a few moist crumbs come out, that's okay. You can let it finish cooling in the pan because it's going to keep baking in the pan. So I'm going to let this cool completely. Okay, for the glaze, it's fairly simple. I have here some 10 times powdered sugar. This is Dixie Crystal. Don't use the cheap stuff because the sugar hasn't been fully processed to where the grains are fine. I'm gonna add some vanilla to it, and then we're gonna add some heavy cream, just a little bit. We just want this to be at a thick but pourable consistency. I'm gonna start off with using my spoon first, because if I start my whisk, it's gonna get all clumped up inside of there. Now if your glaze becomes too runny, just simply add more powdered sugar. So it's at about a pourable consistency. I'm gonna add like a tablespoon or so more of heavy cream. And this recipe doesn't really requires any measurements for the glaze portion. And I want to be slightly more pourable. So we're pretty much there. So I'm going to use my whisk to whisk it and to incorporate some air in here, just to help lighten it up a little bit. When you incorporate air, the air will make it lighten in color. That's what I mean by lightening up. So I think this is good. It's okay to have a pretty thick glaze. Now we have our beautiful pound cake that I turned out of the pan. It's stuck a little bit, but that's okay because the glaze is going to cover it. Evidently I didn't spray my pan good enough, but that's okay. So I'm just going to simply drizzle this thick glaze over. and just sort of move it back and forth. I like my glaze sort of really thick, really, to be honest. But this part of the recipe is totally customizable. I'm sure if you like to do something like add a different flavor extract to the glaze, you could. But we're going to stick to the original version that's posted by Jenny. See, I have it pretty thick because I really want it to not go all over the place. So I'm going to let the glaze set for about 30 minutes. And then we're going to slice into it. So here is the moment that we've been waiting for, to cut into the cake. Please add this video to your playlist. And also please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell when you do subscribe to my channel. And also please follow me on social media. Look at that beautiful crumb. Absolutely beautiful crumb, guys. So take some pictures and we'll be back. So guys, I'm gonna give this cake a try. I'm excited. It looks amazing. The crumb looks perfect. Here it goes. Oh my goodness. It's absolutely buttery and moist. Wow. Now let me stop eating this. Oh my goodness. Guys, this cake is good. Shout out to Jenny Field. Thank you so much for sharing all of your recipes and love for cooking, as well as all the time you spent with me answering questions and helping me become a better baker at home. Don't forget to stop by and check out the recipe in the description box. It'll take you to her website as well. Thank you so much for watching with Sugary Sweet, where we're making the world a little bit sweeter.